everyone, welcome back to my channel HE Life. I'm Dr. Cindy Wang. I had previously made a video on how much I made as a resident, and apparently that's a huge hit because it's one of the most viewed videos on my channel. So I thought as a follow-up, I'll do one how much I make as a fellow and kind of compare and contrast. I feel like this is kind of a little fluffy because I mentioned before, anyone who is interested can go online and find this information just by Googling the place and house staff stipend. But that said, let's get started, and I will now share the big number with everyone now that I am a pathology fellow, which is not the case. As a pathology fellow, I basically moved from PGY4, which is postgraduate 4, to PGY5, which is postgraduate year 5. The increase is really only one tier. My current salary as a PGY5 GI Pathology Fellow at Stanford Pathology is $91,000. Woo! That aside, it's really not that much money in taking into consider everything of where I'm currently living, because this area is hella expensive. To compare and contrast, if I was in Chicago as a PGY5, sorry, I need to look this number up again. As a PGY5, if I was still at the University of Chicago, I will be making $76,000, whereas as a PGY5 here at Stanford, I am making $91,000. And you would say that's like a $15,000 increase. You must feel so wealthy. Well, well, on the contrary, I honestly feel like even with the salary boost, I'm living on a tighter budget than I was living back when I was a resident. So let me explain this difference. Let's start with Stanford and where Stanford is located. It is located in Palo Alto, or sometimes I feel like Stanford just have its own zip code, which is Stanford, California. And the surrounding neighborhoods is Palo Alto and Menlo Park. And I personally, I guess this is part of my choice. I wanted to live close to the hospital because I hate commuting. And this area is basically equivalent of cost of living to San Francisco, which is basically equivalent cost of living to New York City, which is basically equivalent saying that I am living in one of the most expensive places to live in all of the US. And boy, oh boy, there is such a huge difference. When I was living in Chicago, and I think at the time my salary was 69 or 68, whatever I told you guys I made last year, that felt like it went more in Chicago than my current 91,000 goes here because of the sheer expense of cost of living. When I lived in Chicago, I lived in a 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, 1,000 square foot apartment, and it was amazing. It was 1 mile from the hospital, and I paid little less than $2,000 a month for rent, and that also included a lot of the utilities. Now, in contrast, I currently live in Menlo Park, and I live 1.5 miles away from the hospital. I live in a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 800 square foot apartment, and that is costing me $4,100 a month in rent, not including all utilities, which probably adds up to be another $300. So in that difference alone, I am spending on average every month a little over $2,000 more for just living. If you multiply that by 12 months, that is basically eats up the entirety of my salary difference between when I was a resident as a PGY4 and now as a fellow as a PGY5 at Stanford. And sure, on paper it sounds great. In reality, it's not so great. So this is another thing that I guess I wanted to share because I want to let people let current med students and current, I guess, residents know when you're looking for where you want to go for residency and where you want to go for fellowship, don't pick a place just because they're like, for example, a PGY1 at Stanford makes, let's see, $71,000. And that sounds like a lot because a lot of PGY1 positions around the country will probably offer you like 56 or 58, even like 60, right? And you're like, wow, Stanford offers me 11,000, 12,000, whatever thousand more a year than these other places, I'm definitely go there. My salary is gonna be so baller and I'm gonna be able to buy all these things I want. But then you have to really take into consideration the cost of living, which is shocking. Another thing you need to consider in terms of how much you're getting paid and how much you're actually gonna earn also counts for like the difference in taxes. The California state tax is 9.3%, whereas back in Chicago, it was a fixed 4.95%. And I was just like, so that's like you're now paying double in state tax every year. And also because I'm getting paid, $91,000, woohoo, I'm now in a higher tax bracket in the federal sense. So now I pay at a higher tax bracket on my federal taxes as well. So more places where my money's just getting away from me. This is one more thing that you especially if you are someone who is looking to take time off between fellowship or residency and starting your first job, which is a pretty common thing for a lot of people to do. They want to take 1 or 2 months off because, fellowship and residency is super tiresome. And when you're done with all of that, before you start working, which is even a different level of and stress, you want to take some time off. And that is something you really should consider. I know this, especially if you're currently a med student looking to do residency and this is so far away to thinking of a job, but like, especially if you're looking for a fellowship and you're only doing 1 year fellowship and you're going to go for a job later, if you want to take time off, you have to consider that during that time off, you will make no money and you also have no health insurance during this time period that you're taking time off. And I'm sure if you're taking time off, you want to go do something fun with it. You want to go on a trip or at very least you want to just relax and eat at different places or do something, and that's also going to cost money. So now you have to consider how much money. Oh, let's not include, you also have to pay rent and utilities and this and that and car payments, blah, blah, student loans, blah, blah, right? And then with that, you'll have to save up enough money to make sure you can take that time off, because it would be really unfortunate for you to not prepare for that. And at the end of your fellowship, you have no choice but to work right away, because otherwise, you can't make your next payment for rent or your credit card or something like that. And I guess I shouldn't downplay Stanford so much. In reality, I do earn more than $91,000 because as a PGY5, my raw salary is $91,000, which actually I didn't know until now preparing for this video, because when I signed that contract, it says my salary is only going to be $88,000. I also get a housing stipend from the GME at Stanford, about $7,000, because they know and they recognize the cost of living in this area is ridiculous. The pathology department here at Stanford is so amazing, because in addition to the GME housing stipend, I get an extra $10,000 in housing stipend. So yeah, I guess with all the stipends added together, my total, take-home salary for this year as a PGY5 is $108,000. And even with that, with all the housing stipends, a lot of it gets eaten up by rent and the cost of everything else in this area. But that said, it is currently middle of February and it's like 70 degrees outside, and that's exactly what I was looking for. And that is, I keep saying, I'm paying for the good weather, and yeah, I don't regret paying for the good weather. I love this. That's all for me today. I hope to see everyone next time. Please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when I post a new video. And that will be it. All right, bye guys. See you next time.